My examination of the data from the Maiden Castle skeletons led me to conclude a possible African contribution to the Durotriges tribe. The female P36 appeared to have a very similar phenotype to the Grimaldi africanoids from the Upper Paleolithic. The coefficient of racial likeness data compiled by Geoffrey M. Morant points to Africa and the Mediterranean. Interestingly, my theory has been confirmed by the 2000 and 2005 excavations at Lank Hills, Winchester, England. Skulls, or parts of skulls, were present in a total of 246 graves. Of that number there were 90 male and 89 female skulls. Many were fragmented and could not be reconstructed as part of this analysis. It was possible, therefore, to calculate indices for only 55 adult skulls without undertaking extensive reconstruction. Tentative observations have already been made on the basis of some cranial indices, including the identification of 3 individuals with a particularly broad nasal aperture, a feature which can be characteristic of skulls of Negroid populations. Reference base 1987-87. The isotope analysis has demonstrated that at least one of these individuals is likely to have originated in western or northern Britain. These findings underline the desirability of much further work on isotope analysis of this assemblage. Results of work recently made available as part of the Diaspora project hosted by the University of Reading have demonstrated that a high-status burial of the second half of the 4th century from York was that of an adult female of African origin. This clearly counters the assumption that all blacks in Roman Britain were low-status male slaves. Reference the late Roman cemetery at Lank Hills, Winchester, excavations 2000-2005, Booth, Paul, et al., 2010. If Paul Booth were acquainted with the work of G. M. Morant, which we have discussed earlier, he would have been aware that the British Iron Age tribes examined were closely related to the African Copts and Guanches. It would appear that the local British population had African affinities and some of the incoming foreign settlers had a more recent African origin. Their childhood was spent in a warmer country, possibly Tunisia. The excavations at Lank Hills produced some interesting results. The group of warmer people did include 3, however, all females, whose isotopic signature is significantly warmer than is typical for Britain, suggesting origins in an area with a hot and/or arid environment, consistent with many areas of the Mediterranean, and perhaps even North Africa. These are characterized as hot in the abbreviated terminology employed in Table 7.6. Remarkably, one of these, the young adult 119 in grave 99, has cranial characteristics which suggest a possible origin in Egypt. Reference Paul Booth, et al., 2010. This recent analysis lends support to the African substratum theory, and indicates that the settlers had African origins. Lank Hills in Winchester is only a few miles away from Maiden Castle. The former was controlled by the Belgae, who are supposed to have been Celts. The data suggests otherwise. Some of the settlers are believed to have come from Pannonion, a province of the Roman Empire, inhabited by the Illyrians. Today it corresponds to parts of Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia. Further evidence supporting the presence of African settlers is the discovery of artifacts of African origin. In terms of artifact provision, the most striking of the warmer burials is that of the adult woman in grave 82, the deepest of the 4 stepped graves found in the Oa excavation. This grave contained the 2 ceramic unguent flasks of probable North African origin, the only imported pottery vessels in the entire Lank Hills cemetery assemblage, along with the comparable vessel from Clark's grave 45, that of a prime adult female. Reference Booth, et al., 2010. The city of Gloucester plays an important role in the battle between the Cymry, Britons, and the Anglo-Saxons. A study of 2nd century mass burial provides more evidence of settlers from Africa. 2 individuals, GLR 1546 and 1561, had values of 0.7109 and 0.7135, respectively. These values indicate a childhood spent in warm coastal climates such as southern Iberia, the coast of Algeria and Morocco, and possibly Turkey. The analysis has shown that at least 7 out of 28 individuals tested had come from regions with a warmer climate. The town had a high number of settlers from other countries, making it a remarkably diverse town. Please subscribe and like, and stay tuned for more new research.